This is bottom up.
Is this
I don't know why Kenyans are not understanding.
Wait, we talked about this in 2022.
This is
You didn't tell
up.
us that in 2022 when Ruto was campaigning.
We didn't understand it. Like everybody else also didn't understand. Now I can see.
A very good day to you and welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jeriel Kabiro. So glad that you're joining us once again for political conversations. I'm so grateful if I don't say it as much. I'm grateful that you join us every time. Take your time to listen to these conversations which I hope will help our leaders in making better policy decisions and informed political moves. These conversations, of course, come to you simply, truthfully, and unbiased. I'm back with that intro with Herman Manyora, political analyst and commentator. Yes. I missed that intro. Welcome back. People are welcoming you back from the comments. They're grateful that you're back.
I also missed them.
Yeah?
I'll be very honest.
You didn't say that
last time. I also missed this show. I missed the people. I missed the interactions, the comments, both positive and negative. They had become part of me.
Hey, yes. You have missed even the bad comments.
Yes, I missed them. I had gotten used to people hitting at me.
You said you have a thick skin.
Yeah, but I have a thick skin.
Let's talk about our president today, President William Ruto. We want to assess, because you haven't talked about him in a while, I want to assess his leadership style. He has been called the master of doublespeak. He has been out here on the roads, traveling, transversing different parts of the country, talking about our institutions of government, from the judiciary to the legislature. He told parliamentarians in the retreat that they are government. They should not oppose anything proposed by government. He told the judiciary that they have been hijacked, they are bribed, and he hasn't produced any evidence. What do you think he hopes to achieve by playing politics? And he's our president now. We expect a more civilized leader.
There shouldn't be a person who is more political than the president. The president is a politician and is the head of the pack.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a politician number one.
So you disagree?
So how would he not play politics?
You disagree with every political analyst that come and say, we expect a Kibaki from you, a strategist.
But people are not the same. Ruto can't be Kibaki. I mean, Manyora can't be judged. People are different. Every leader comes with their leadership style. Okay. That's what they bring. There's no book. Hillary Clinton was asked that he didn't have much experience, and he said, not Hillary, Bill Clinton. He said, whoever, have you heard of somebody occupying White House with experience of being president? You pick it there, and therefore you bring your style.
So when you look at then, you say this is his style. Would you agree or say this is the right style of leadership? Because he's going to churches.
Are you asking if I was the president whether I would do things the way he's doing? No, certainly not.
I'm actually asking, is it the right style of leadership?
There can never be a right style. It is just his style. It wouldn't be my style if I'm the president. Yeah.
Then what is
I'll have a different approach. And not everybody will like it. Yeah. Because every president or prime minister brings their own style.
Okay.
And each style achieves something. In the long run, when people are very honest and they make an honest assessment, a sober assessment, say, okay, this guy, we didn't seem to like the way he was doing it, but finally, this is how the country benefited. So you may hate Ruto's abrasive style. You may hate the fact that he's overburdening Kenyans with taxation. You may hate the fact that he's trying to impose his will in many areas. But supposing after 10 years, these things begin to bear fruit. Yeah.
Don't you think it's too... 10 years is a long time to judge, because we have an election in 2027.
Yes, yes.
We are 1 year into his government. Yes. Shouldn't we say now that this style is working or not? Is it too soon to say that if you're going to churches, if you're going on, if you're making rooftop declarations, if you're saying one thing and there's evidence of something else, that you probably need to change how you're governing?
You know what? Many of these things take time to be felt. It's not like taking tea and when you put in two spoonfuls of sugar, you can test and say, okay, let me add one. No, it's not that easy. It takes time for these things to be felt. Some of them may look very, very wonderful. Look at Kibaki. Let's be very honest. People are praising Kibaki so much.
Yeah.
But if you compare Kibaki and Uhuru, is there any comparison? There isn't any comparison. Uhuru is many times better than Kibaki in terms of what he delivered. So some of these things are perspective, in terms of perception. Other things are a background against which you are judging somebody. If Moi, it is felt Moi had taken the country so down, so low, that any small thing somebody did like Kibaki would be felt.
Okay.
So look at what Kibaki is being
Praised.
Is praised for thick highway. How many kilometers are those? Come on. You can't even compare that to the expressway. Look at the Mau road Kibaki Ruto has put in place. How many kilometers are those?
Yeah.
From Kiambu to Mount Kenya. What is that?
You know, the problem with
look at Dungu Kondo. Look at the opening of the... Look at how easy it is to travel within Nairobi and around Nairobi as compared before Uhuru took over. In terms of infrastructure, because Kibaki is credited with infrastructure. But can it compare anywhere with... So sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it looks so wonderful because of the context. Sometimes it looks so wonderful because somebody is famed to be good, the economist, and he is on board. Sometimes you are a beneficiary of the times. Kibaki took over a time when there was liberalization in the world.
Okay.
When the world was opening up. When certain things, even if you want to do them in Kenya, you wouldn't do. In terms of currency. So all of a sudden, people are selling loans outside hotels, outside a bar. You get out, you are drunk, and there are two ladies there and some young man say, we come from Barclays. We are selling loans. That was not happening in Kenya. That was not Kibaki. You could walk with dollars when only a few years earlier, Waruru Kanja had been jailed because of being found with foreign currency. So some of these changes were not Kibaki changes. So we cannot... They were changes of the time.
What you're saying, we cannot compare times, not the leadership of both presidents.
Yeah,
we look at the time in particular.
Sometimes the times, sometimes... but of course there's something which somebody brings. A leader brings something. So there's something Ruto is trying to bring. We could judge him harshly. If you judge Ruto by the way, the pain he is occasioning people, you'll judge him very badly. And that's how people are now judging him sexually. How insensitive can a person be? How are you going right into the villages and telling people you want to tax? You know, so... That's what I'm saying. There must be something he knows we don't know.
And that is...
Because what we are seeing doesn't make sense.
And that is my next question is, it's supposed to be a bottom-up economy.
Yes.
You look at everyone talking about this doesn't look bottom-up. It looks trickle-down because those at the bottom are the ones getting hurt the most. What is bottom-up?
This is bottom-up. Like Alice
Wahome
tried to explain from... it is bottom-up. It is you scoop from the bottom and take it up. You get something, whatever small people have down there, you get it. Then you take it up. Bottom up. You take Mama Mboga, you tax them. You force them to pay NHIF. You force them to do housing. You look at the small workers who earn 10,000, 20,000. You get housing levy from them, even if they will never get out. You take up. So once you take up money from small people for housing, then you give those houses to those who are up. This is bottom up. I don't know why Kenyans are not understanding.
Wait, we talked about this in 2022.
This is bottom
You didn't tell us that in 2022 when Ruto was campaigning.
We didn't understand it. Like everybody else also didn't understand. Now I can see. Get money from the small workers. Now you want to get, because the court told them it was discriminatory. Why you want to getting only from those who are employed? Get from Mama Mboga. So everybody now is going to contribute to housing and NHIF. When this money goes up for housing, up from bottom, from the small people, the houses are then given to those who can afford, those who are up. If you get money from small people for NHIF, who benefits? Those who go to Nairobi Hospital, Aga Khan Hospital, the rest, the big people. Those who can drive into a hospital and demand services. But that bottom person from Lombe, where I come from, after they have contributed, they can't even step in a small hospital avenue in Kisumu. They fear even entering the compound. So the money has gone up to be used by those who are up. This is bottom up.
Then what do you think?
And nobody says it is bad. That's how capitalism works.
What do you think has changed? Because from the president while he was campaigning, it was all about we're bringing those at the bottom to a better place. Not talking about taking their monies, not talking about taxing them. What do you think has changed? Because now
let me tell you this.
This shrewd politician is getting a lot of hate for what he's doing.
Let me tell you this. When you are a poor person and you sacrifice everything and take your child to school and they begin to drive, are you not even happy when they are driving? No. You are still as poor as you used to be, as miserable, but your son in Nairobi, you keep talking about your son. He comes once in 2 or 3 years and brings you 10 shillings or 50 shillings or 100 shillings. But you are very happy. You talk about him all the time. So the poor should talk about their rich Kenyans. And that's how they vote. So Ruto is only helping people do what they like best. If a poor man dies, how many people attend the funeral around him? Few. If a rich man dies, people will go on foot for 20 kilometers. That's how life seems to be working. And this bottom-up thing is fitting into that kind of way.
You said something interesting. It seems like Ruto knows something we don't know.
Yes.
We expect for the president, as we were looking at how he was campaigning before he became president, he's a man who was loved by people. And
who tells you he's not loved? Ruto is still loved.
You look at Infotech polls and Tifa polls, his popularity has gone down. But I'm asking, why is he allowing this sort of hatred? When you look at affordable housing, Kenyans are not in agreement with it. People want housing, but not the route he's taken. Why do you think he's taking this route, despite calls from Kenyans to put a halt?
There are two things. One, he may know what we don't know. But two, I have also told you, human beings behave in a very rational way. Stockholm Syndrome. People allow oppression to work around them. They seem to enjoy poverty. They allow a few people to lord it over them, to oppress them. So these are some of the things people understand.
So Ruto has noticed that whether he does what he pleases, people will still elect him back.
Let me put it to you. If elections are called today, are you telling me millions of Kenyans will not vote for Ruto? Millions. I have not talked of hundreds of thousands. I've said millions of Kenyans. You and I know they will.
Yeah.
So what are you saying? So he knows.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And let me tell you something else. How many MPs have been voted out, even when they had been voted the best performing MPs? The man who brought CDF, the Wanda thing, Engineer Karua or something, from somewhere in Nyandarua, he was voted out. The best MP that year was, I think that time was Ramisi or Hamisi. He couldn't believe. So, you can do, Kibaki did all these wonders, but he had to grab the presidency. Kenyans gave it to Raila Odinga. I can say that without feeling anything.
2007.
Yeah. Yet, my father, my late father, Mzee Moja, was a Kibaki person. And I was a Raila person. I can now disclose. I convinced it. I took my mother and my God rest their soul in eternal peace. My mother, I bought her a very nice dress, and she told me, "Sasa Ogwambo, tapigia Ogwambo, tapigia Ogwambo." Old girl, we used to call her old girl. That one went with me. Mzee Moja refused, but it was dramatic. My father did it in a dramatic way. He told me, "Stand, stand straight." I stood. Look south. I looked south. Can you fail to see something Kibaki has brought into this country? I say, I can see schools. Look, he turned me around the campus and he concluded that a man who had done so much, that there was Kibaki development in every corner of the country, in every direction of the campus. How could we risk by putting there Raila, whom we didn't know? But Kibaki didn't win the elections. So these are some of the things Ruto knows. It's not always about development or being good. But there's something else I've also said. Sometimes people go through pain to gain. So maybe Ruto knows, let people get used to paying these taxes. They will hate me. But tomorrow when the taxes are now normalized, when everybody is paying taxes and they are happy about the taxes and what the taxes are, they will say, Kumbe Ruto was right. So I'm saying, you can just look at the surface and quickly condemn Ruto. Because that's what a normal person will do. You can't believe why he's doing what he's doing. You even ask yourself, You mean he's not seeing? Of course, there's something else I want to tell you. When people get to power, they become blind.
That is the
They change. And the power does not mean the presidency. I was a teacher in a school. A normal teacher like you becomes a deputy president. A deputy, what do you call it?
Deputy principal.
Deputy headmasters those days.
Yeah.
Then he buys 1 or 2 plastic suits and he changes. Completely. You can't even have a conversation with him. Power. There's something power does to people. And Michelle Obama has tried to explain it in her autobiography. Becoming. And the conclusion is that power doesn't change you. It reveals to people who you are. So people sometimes are bad, naturally, but we don't know because of the facade they present. Okay? When they are now given power, their true selves are revealed. But it has also been concluded that the power is so bad, it blinds you. So I may not also be surprised if Ruto is not seeing these things. He may not be feeling that we are feeling the pain because he's in power. Power, it is called a dictator's trap. You only see things from that narrow window. And the people around you who benefit by you being in power will always make you see things only from that narrow window because they are benefiting when you are there. If you are to see things and see you are ruling badly, you need to change. The change may mean most of these people will be removed.
Oh, and this is why we are talking about. This is why we are talking about wastage in his government.
Yes.
Because on one side you are saying pain to gain,
yes,
but you are looking at State House there 700 million,
yes,
51
you
billion.
think that 700 to repair State House is the actual cost? So it cannot be the actual cost.
It cannot be.
It cannot be. And if it is not, you think where is it going? It's going in some pockets.
Yeah.
Those people must tell the president this is how things must go. You've heard that you've looked at some presidents who have put down their feet. Most recently, the president of Zambia. He said the moment he had not even been sworn in, and he's being given something to sign about a fleet of vehicles. He said, "What? I don't need these vehicles. I never ordered 4 vehicles. This is a poor country." It takes somebody like that to say that. In Botswana, when Parliament was increasing salaries, the president told them, "Fine, I will not support it. You have the power to remove me. You can go ahead. I will not allow you to enjoy at the expense." So, a few people can stand up against these people around you, but many people cannot. Because those who benefit from you being the president will always give you the wrong picture of things.
So, you look at now the economy on this other side. The president says we are not under debt distress. Says our economy is stabilizing. Of course, they took Eurobond to pay Eurobond at about 10% interest, never been done before. Is this a way to fix what we are currently in? Because they say we inherited a dilapidated economy and we are fixing things. As much as they are taxing, they are also borrowing to borrow here, pay here. How do you fix this?
You know, I'm not an economist, but I know a thing or two about political economy. But I also know something else. When you are in a hole, we have been told to stop digging. So basically what the government is doing is digging. They are in a hole and they are digging instead of trying to get out of the hole. It is a no-brainer. There's no economics here. This is World Bank, IMF nonsense. It has never helped any country to succeed. We all know that. Look at the proposed budget for 2024-25. It just shows you how stupid we are. We can hardly finance the 3.3 trillion budget, which we are currently running, and we are doing a 4.G trillion budget.
Yes.
It shows you how useless we are. You don't have money to finance the current budget. The thinking of people like David Ndii, all these economists, and I call them houseboys, World Bank houseboys and housegirls, because they are not economists, to create unnecessary deficits. A country is just like a home. Faced with financial challenges in your home, there are a number of options you can do. You can liquidate some, you can sell a cow, if you have a goat. You can cut a tree and sell. You can also tighten your budget, your belts, remove some things from your kitchen budget. You can even change children from schools, and there are many options are available to you. But the easiest option is for you to borrow.
So what
mama waenda sako chukua. Mimi niende bank nichukue. So you are now permanently You are just, only the head is above water. You occasionally you go into the water, you gulp, but then you go up.
That is where we are.
That's where you are. You're actually inside water. But the nose and the mouth are up. You are breathing. But occasionally you dip your things dip you in, you gulp a few, then you are up. That's where we are. Yet there are so many things you can. And I've told these people, nobody can convince me as an economist. I can put all of them in class and teach them. Because I've said this. If you look at the Kenyan budget, as indeed budgets of many other countries that are led by IMF and those, if you look at the budget, let's say we have a 4-point-something trillion. You can remove a trillion from that budget without affecting anything. How do you put useless things in a budget when you don't have money? If you read the budget proposals, how government proposes to spend and on what, how much, you just cry. Because there are so many things inside. It's like shoes for children, PS4 or 5 in the home, sijui, marinda mpya ya mama, this water tank outside, Yatoboka, but there are newer ones which have come, they look beautiful in the compound. You are budgeting for those and you don't have money. That's what the government is doing.
So from an aerial view, what are you looking at? Because we are saying we want to save. That's why we are privatizing our assets. We are borrowing. You have explained to us what bottom-up really means. Yes. What is this economic model that
there is no model here. It's just nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Nothing. Because you see, you start to buy that which you need. And the first charge, of course, you must pay your debts from whatever you collect. You must pay salaries and give counties money. Then the next thing is development. Why do you think the president is promising everybody something? A road from here to there, some passing from somebody's kitchen to there, or these. Why are you promising all these things that you don't have money? Because you create money to pay debts, the first charge, then salaries, then counties. See those? In that order. There may be one or two others, and then you go into the development arena. Why do you want to crowd that arena? Why don't you suspend certain things? Why don't you limit the number of new projects you are bringing on board, the new things you want to do, until you have stabilized? Who tells you every road in Kenya must be tarmac, bitumen standards? Who tells you? When even America still has maram roads. You know, we are stupid people, basically. We are just basically stupid people. Because we are trying to put things on the table which we can't handle. And why do we do that? It's the conduit to it, the conduit through which people eat. It's called budgeted corruption. You put money on a project, then you follow that money and eat. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So basically, running this country is a very simple thing. If I'm the president, after 5 years, people will wonder, Manyora, where were you? Why did you leave us? Why did you wait until you are too old to take over?
And that is
because we would have wanted you to rule for 40 years. They will change the constitution.
That is actually my last question, because you're saying if you were president. And this is the same thing President William Ruto told us. And you could probably see that he has some sort of plan.
No, he has a plan.
How do we reconcile?
Ruto has a plan, but he doesn't have a vision. I have a vision. You know, the difference between, there are people who you don't have to have a vision. You can have a plan, a manifesto, and implement it, and people are happy. And I've told you, people will be happy with Ruto, most likely. At the end of this, they'll say, come this guy was right. But a vision is different. A vision which people like us have. You're looking at Kenya 100 years from now. What do I want Kenya? Long after I am gone. In my grave or in heaven or wherever I will be. What Kenya do I see 100 years from now? 50 years from now, what will my great-granddaughter be looking like? In what country will she be living? 20 years from now, what will Nairobi look like? At what point shall we make Buruburu the slum of Nairobi, so that there's nothing below Buruburu? At what point shall we be looking to upgrade Buruburu, because that is the most useless estate we have, There will be no Kibra, there will be no Madare, there will be no Umoja, Dandora, Komarok, all those ones will not be there. At what point and how shall we go there? That's what I'm calling a vision. Such a people are rare. If I was given an opportunity to lead this country, that it will be a country led by a person with a vision for the country, not for myself.
But we have Vision 2030.
That is nonsense. That is Vision 3030, not 2030. I've written about it, and I've called it Vision 30. It's not a vision. A vision is not something you scribble on paper. A vision is a serious dream to change society, to turn things around. And there are people who have turned their countries around.
So you're saying basically we might be happy with
but you don't have to have a vision. Your plan or your manifesto can transform this country and put it in the next level. But I can assure you, this current crop of leaders, and I'm not talking about Ruto, all these leaders from Kibaki, Raila, Ruto, Uhuru Kenyatta, the whole lot, even if you gave each of them 100 years to be president, Kibra will still be there.
So for someone thinking now that Manyora is back, what is he telling me about Ruto and everything that he has been doing? Should I give him time, pain, gain later?
You know, all I've told you about Ruto is that he's doing things that, according to us, don't make sense. Especially the point of pain to the people of this country. And therefore, there must be something he knows perhaps we don't know. So we have to give him time and hope that there will be gain after this pain. Because they say they want to give us houses. Who would hate to see a Nairobi with good housing, where human beings live like human beings and not like dogs? Who would hate it? Who would love it? So if Ruto is going to deliver houses to the people of Nairobi, so that we stop seeing the things we are seeing Kawangware, where our own brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers and them live like animals. If Ruto is going to deliver that, it does not matter how much pain we go through. We'll support him to do that.
But it has to be constitutional. It has to make sense.
yeah. You see, again, this constitutionality. Again, that's a point you shall discuss another time. Because
let's not go there.
I want to say the president is bad in terms of disregard for the courts. But I also, in a very hastened manner, say the courts also need to recalibrate their thinking and their approach. So that's a discussion we can have another time. But for today, all we can say is that Ruto has a plan. The plan seems to be causing a lot of pain. We can only hope there will be gain at the end of the pain.
Well, poetry at its finest. Thank you for tuning in to this conversation about the Constitution, President William Ruto. Of course, we'll have that conversation about the Constitution, but about President William Ruto's leadership style. Is it making sense for you? You can leave a comment down below so that we get to engage with you more directly. And of course, if you want to support us, the numbers are down on the screen so that you can support these productions as soon as we want to talk to you. Until we talk again, have yourself a lovely rest of your day.